Hey everyone, and welcome to EV Training. Today I'll be going over using up B to tech chase. So Ivy chose up B as one of her strongest finishing moves. It has a sweet spot at the tip of it that covers a whole arc above Ivy's head. I'm going to go over in frame advance just now. You can see that it starts a little bit above and behind Ivy's sword and then extends in this arc above her. And that last hitbox at the end of the vine is where she gets her sweet spot, and that's a super strong kill move. And so we often see it used in the air, covering things like after fair or sour spot up air, or even after down throw on bad DI. But we don't really see it used as much when you're standing on the ground, for obvious reasons. It's committal, it doesn't really cover a ton of options in most situations, and it's really a pretty hard call out. But there are some situations I've been finding that make it really useful, and the biggest one is definitely using it to tech chase when your opponent has to tech on a side platform. So that arc that I was just talking about, where Ivy's up B covers, it holds vertically, it's on the same vertical level as pretty much every side platform, from Dreamland to Warrior Land. So if someone is standing on a side platform and you up B at an angle that it would hit them, they'll never be too high or too low. It'll almost always hit them. And that makes it really valuable because you can catch opponents with it. The easiest way to do it is just to read their DI. Say you're standing underneath where someone has to tech and they tech outwards. You can read that they're going to tech out and then up B. And it follows where they're going because of that arc that makes it super helpful to cover multiple tech options, like I'll talk about in a little bit. And it will catch them with the sweet spot, which sets up super well. Often it'll kill because people who tech away have a pretty bad habit of often holding out even after they have to, after the tech. Then they'll have bad DI, which will either kill them at low percents, like you see happen to Teal here, or it'll just set up for an edge guard, because once they're that far off stage, Ivy's edge guarding tools are pretty strong. On top of its power just as a read-based tool, it covers a space that Ivy often can't reach really quickly with a strong move. If I'm underneath the platform, the way I just was in that example, what do I really have that's going to cover in front of me and diagonal? I can do turnaround back air if I have time, and then I'll put them off stage, but if they DI correctly, that's really all I'll get from it. Or, at the very least, I'll get an edge guard, but I'm getting an edge guard with them closer to stage than they would be after the up B. So either way, that's less optimal, and then really anything other than that won't hit or really lead to much most of the time. So I'll often find the kind of setups that I just showed there out of things like landing aerials. I've gotten it with sweet spot down air, you just saw in that clip. I've gotten it with landing fair, landing up air. Sometimes I get it with things like up tilt as well, or down tilt at higher percents. But there are a bunch of situations, once you understand and know where to look for Ivy's up B hitboxes and recognize, okay, I can hit this spot above me and then this whole arc in front of me, it makes it much easier to find situations where you go, oh, I can use up B here and it might hit them. But this is still, so far, just a read. And we have a lot of tools that we can read with. I could tech chase with Solar Beam if I wanted to read people. So what makes this better than that? And the answer is, I have a setup that I've been working on for a little while now, where situationally you can cover every option with tip or up B. The way it works is, if you up throw someone while you're underneath the corner of a platform, so that they tech pretty much on top, like above you, and in a situation where even if they tech in or miss a tech and they just sit where they are, they'll still get hit by that first hitbox that starts right above you, then you can cover every option. So you can see here I'm testing on DK. I up throw DK on the battlefield platform, he misses the tech, he gets hit with the reverse up B. If he techs in place, he gets hit with the up B. If he techs in, attempting to get behind me, he gets hit with the up B. And if he techs out, then he gets hit with the full extension of the up B and is now off stage. So it covers every option in that example. There are a bunch of examples I'll run while I'm talking right now where it doesn't cover every option, either because of the character's tech animation or because they just are too skinny for the hitbox that happens behind and above Ivy to really cover the tech behind us. And this is a setup that only really works if you've positioned yourself well on the up throw. If you try to do it in the center stage, like I'm going to do right now, it works. The same concept still applies to them teching in place, missing the tech, or teching out in front of you. But if they tech behind you, now there's really nothing that you can do. And so that really ruins the principle of this setup. But it is still valuable in that it can cover 3 or 4 options if it's on a character wide enough and with a bad enough tech animation that this is doable. So I obviously demonstrated it on DK, and he's a really good... DK is an excellent character to use this on, because he's someone who gets edge-guarded super well. So my goal against DK as Ivysaur, more often than not, is to get him off stage. And Tipper up B, as I just talked about, is excellent for that. Regardless of good or bad DI, he's likely to end up off stage if I hit him with Tipper up B at 40 or 50 on battlefield. And then I'm in an edge guard situation. And this is a setup that works on a lot of the characters that our goal is to get off stage. It works really on anyone who is a midweight or heavier. Let me rephrase. Who's not a floaty or semi-floaty is probably the better way to phrase it, because it's all about fall speed. I can set this up in theory on a Samus, but if I up throw a Samus at 40, they are floaty enough that they have time to jump out before they would have to be in that tech animation on the platform, and then obviously the whole situation doesn't work because they're no longer in that tech, they're not in that tech trap anymore. So it works on a pretty large portion of the cast, and it works on every stage to some extent or another. Just like there's a little bit of variance based on characters' tech animations, there's often a little bit of variance based on the stage and the height of the platform as well, but it more or less works on every stage that has a standard platform height, sometimes it works on things like Delfino's, Fountain, Carino, but it depends on where the platform is at that time. And so that's pretty much the setup. The one thing I do want to cover in terms of an optimizing aspect is when is this better or worse than just comboing? Because I just talked about using it on DK, which is super good, but at the same time, if you get a grab on DK, you can also get a combo. And so the answer for that, really, that I've come to is it's up to personal feel, more or less. It's up to how confident are you in your ability to tech chase them? Do you think you have a read on their tech that you can get with platform land up air? Do you have some way that you think you're going to get something out of a tech chase on the platform? Because a lot of the time, even if you go for down throw underneath the platform, they'll still be able to tech it, and you're in a bit of a weird situation. So are you confident that you can get a combo of some kind without using this? Or are you more confident in your ability to edge guard if you do get this setup? So even if we're able to recognize that it isn't necessarily always the right option. We have great combos out of down throw on a lot of the cast that this will work on. We have some really good combos on up throw, and we have some awesome potential out of platform landed up air tech chases if we're confident in tech chasing someone who's on a platform. But this is a good option to be aware of because it does cover every option against a lot of characters if you're not feeling very confident in your tech chases. It helps us put people off stage, which is never a bad thing as Ivysaur. And especially when you're using it against someone who's not going to see it coming, because this is not really something people look out for most of the time. You can really catch people with some terrible DI and make it really easy to close out some stocks, which can be nice in a close set. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Yeah, have a good one.